Guys, good night. Can you hear me now? Or can you see me now? Hi, Katrina. Let me switch my phone, see if I'm gonna get it straight. Okay. Second. Okay, it's asking me to rotate back my device. So one of us is upright and the other is sideways.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
can you
really good.
rotate yours
What's
and
that?
see?
Let me see. I look straight now. You're rotated the other way.
Okay, when I rotate mine, it's asking me to rotate back. Wait, one moment. Yeah, it's telling me to rotate back my device up straight.
Now you're better.
So you're seeing me?
Yeah,
Okay. But I'm seeing myself upside down.
you best be doing that upside down.
Yeah, I'm seeing but that's okay. I'm seeing us upside, sort of upside down. Yeah, but nonetheless, welcome. Let me get some volume here. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we are upside down set of people here tonight. Okay, so let me switch. Let me
Is it better?
rotate my device now. Okay, I think we got it right now. Right. Yeah, we got it right. So you guys seeing us better now, right? Okay, so good night, everyone. As you notice, I have a special guest here. Yes, this special guest, she's very special. Yes, you would have heard me calling up a name for those persons who would have been on our Friday night live on a regular basis. You would have heard me talking about Katrina. Yes, Katrina and I should have linked up while she was here, but when she was in Beckway, I was in St. Lucia. So, but thanks to technology, we finally got to get this moment. So, Katrina, welcome once again to our live. And I have your book in my hand, and I read this book, and I would encourage anybody, everybody who is here, if you're looking for a story, the Katrina story, you can find it on Amazon. And I would encourage you to read this book. It's very inspiring, and you're gonna learn a lot from Katrina as well. But tonight is Katrina's moment, right? I'm just going to ask you to fill us in a bit of you were down home on your vacation. I mean, this is your parents' home. So how was it this time around when you visited?
It was good. It was very hot, so we couldn't really go around much in the daytime, but we got around as much as possible. And um, I wanted to go around as much as possible because I wanted to show other people that people with disabilities should be visible out in the community and doing different things, and nothing should stop us.
Okay, well, that's good. Yes, I'm sorry that you didn't get because it's really warm. Up to now, it's really, really warm. Where I'm here, I would have to be falling soon. Yes, so but I noticed that you got the message out at your church. Katrina is an Adventist, and I listened to that message today, and I can tell you I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to be asking you tonight because I know not everyone who is on our live would have heard that. So I'm going to be asking you to share, if not the entire thing, to share some of that with us tonight. Right? But before we get into this, I know you have other people championing this cause with you. I know your mom is a big champion, and I want to say hi to her tonight. So, Auntie Beverly, big up to yourself. Uncle Annette, I didn't see Auntie Beverly this time around. Big up to yourselves. You guys would have done a wonderful job with Katrina. Katrina is a shining star, and we're hoping that moving forward, that she's gonna her advocacy is gonna reach further than where it is now. Hi, good night. Good night, Jeannie. Good night, Melodious J. Krista, good night to you. Welcome, everybody. And I want you guys do not be afraid to ask questions because Katrina will be welcoming questions. So don't be afraid. Remember, I kept saying that yes, we have persons with disability, but it's basically, it doesn't define who they are. As you can see, Katrina. Katrina is the author of this book, and you're going to learn many more about Katrina tonight. So, Katrina, I'm going to turn things over to you at this moment, and I'm going to let you to invite you to share some of what you do with us.
So, hi everyone. My name is Katrina, and I'm an advocate, author, and motivational speaker. I'm also a coach and a mentor for people with disabilities and their families. I'm also the CEO and executive director of Disability Champions Mentoring Network, Inc., which is my very own nonprofit organization helping students with disabilities and those in underserved communities transition from high school to college or truly wherever they dream to be.
Okay. Thank you, Katrina. Some people are saying hi to you. Melodious J. Krista Bynor is a student, well, a teacher, well, a former student of the School for Children with Special Needs. She participated in the Olympics, in the Special Needs Olympics, and she would have gotten some medals in the swim meets. So you can shout out Krista. Yes,
Great.
right. So yes, I was reading your book, right? And I noticed you were speaking a bit about your disability, as in okay, when they found out you had this disability, and you spoke about the doctors being afraid to let your parents know, your mom know about the disability, and they gave them options. So can you share with us the options that the doctor gave to your mom after they found out about your disability?
Sure. So, the options that my parents were given after they found out about my disability was either to leave me in the hospital or take me home.
Okay, and of course they chose to.
They chose to take me home because um they they had no other choice, and that was the way I was made. So they had no other options, and they chose to take me home just the way I am.
Okay, and I must say that that was the right choice. Yes,
Yes.
we know that some people, when they have children, we would see some people, they are afraid to bring their children with disability out. Some children would suffer because parents or society basically would shun them. So they are left at home. But we notice that you have been given choices. You have decided that despite your disability, you are going to champion things and you're going to pave a path for yourself and those to come. So you would have attended high school, you would have graduated from college as well. So can you take us a bit into your journey through high school, then college?
So, I attended high school, a mainstream high school, which means that it included students with and without disabilities. Um, in the very beginning, it was very challenging, because I was the only one in a wheelchair in my entire high school and class, and um, one of the classrooms that I spent most of my day in was the size of a closet with no windows. So I had to do a lot of advocating around that because um, it was unhealthy and unsafe for me to be in a classroom the size of a closet with no windows, and the teacher, while I was teaching, they wanted to keep the door closed because, like, outside in the hallway will be making too much noise, but because when I was in there, they weren't allowed to keep the doors closed. Um, the students with disabilities weren't invited on trips or school activities. Um, Even like for award ceremonies, they would forget to call my name. So, um, either my mom or dad would have to go up to someone that's in charge of like calling the names for award ceremonies to let them know that I'm there and they forgot to call my name. But it'll be kind of too late because it'll be in closing and everyone will be already leaving. So it was high school was very challenging for me, and then when I got to my senior year, the only plan they had for me was to go to a day program. A day program is a center where most people with disabilities go to spend their day, and they do recreational activities and different things like that. But I consider it like an adult daycare center, because how they describe it is not what's actually being produced in many of their centers. So that's where most people with disabilities go to receive like their services or just to spend their day. And so they never gave me the option for college or anything. That wasn't a part of their plan for me, but I told them that I either wanted to go to college or have a job.
Okay, so that was an experience I'm sure you don't want to relive. Because I noticed in your book, when you went to college, you spoke about the difference now. Because in high school, it seems that well, you didn't have an identity per se because you didn't have the how do I put it, the opportunity to meet with your peers, like from the other classes and stuff like that. But then you went to college and things changed, right? So share with us the difference now between college and high school because this is where you sort of opened up more.
So, in college, I was given the opportunity to be a part of a variety of different um, groups and activities. Um, in the beginning of my college journey, I advocated for all of the services and supports that I would need and accommodations that I would need in order to attend college successfully. Um, I would call the office, they have an office for students with disabilities. I would call them every day to make sure that they're able to give me the accommodations that's needed to attend college on campus daily. And the director of the disability services office, um she was also inspired by my ability to um be like the boss and continue to reach out and ask for the things that I needed. Um, and I got different opportunities as I started going to college. I got different opportunities to take part in like student ambassador groups. I was a student ambassador of my college where I took part in many school activities to represent my college and do like community service. And they also gave me the opportunity to attend a weekend retreat where it was in Pennsylvania, so they had to make sure that my accommodations were met, and they met with the director of disability services office to make sure that they accommodate me safely. So they purchased an accessible coach bus um, that has a lift for my wheelchair to be able to go in. And when we got to the resort location, the place that I was able to stay in had a ramp outside already for me, and they also accommodated my mom and dad to be able to come and support me, and my other student ambassador peers. They made sure that I was never left out. So they also had events at another like dorm that wasn't wheelchair accessible, but I was able to bring my wheelchair over, and they had like a big couch there for me, so I was able to sit in there. And they told my mom and dad, "Don't worry, I'll be fine. They'll make sure I don't fall." So they had like pillows and everything, and they all like jammed up next to me, so that um even if I'm falling because I'm not in my wheelchair, that they'll push me back over. So they also spend like game night with me. We played Uno, and they had pizza and everything. So they made sure that I wasn't left out of anything, and I was included in all of the activities that took place. I was also a part of many honor societies on my campus. My professors were very helpful um, in terms of helping me with my accommodations and taking the time if I needed additional support um, in my classwork. They always made sure they had like office hours to meet with all of the students, but when I reached out, they made sure they reached back out.
Very good. Yes, because I noticed where you were speaking when you got to college is like the professors they showed more interest. So it's like it sort of opened you up because I know a few years back you were a bit shy. Well, if, I mean, you seem a bit shy still, but you were more shy. So I must say kudos to you for coming this far. And I'm gonna ask you about math because I know you noted that math was basically a nightmare. It is for me as well, and many other people. So how is it math comparing math now to back then? How is it now for you?
Um, from very early on, like math was always a challenge for me. So when I got to college, I realized that math was really different than in high school, and I started to realize how much I kind of missed out on in school because the teachers only taught the students with disabilities what they thought we were capable of. They never took us outside of the box. So they focused based on whatever they felt our level was, they weren't going beyond. So I felt like I missed out on a lot academically. Although I was pretty successful, I noticed some missing gaps along the way. So when I took math in college, like it was like a placement exam and I kept on having trouble passing it. I recognized that there were a huge gap along the way, that I wasn't taught the things that I was seeing. But I was given the opportunity to take college math as like a non-degree student. So it was basically like you can take it as a practice or you can take it just to gain credit. So I was given the opportunity to do that as a non-degree student at another school, and use it to transfer it back over to the college that I was given the opportunity to. But I took that course online and I got accommodations to meet with a tutor like 2 to 3 times a day, to help me work through the process. And um, when I went to one of my tutors, he was like, "You know math." Um, and he like sent me back home on my way, but I still didn't stop tutoring. I continued to do it virtually, and by them talking me through the process of math, I was able to understand it and communicate it well, rather than me like struggling to like do it. I did it on my own, but just the ability to hear it and walk through it was really powerful.
Okay. Well, girl, you're not alone with maths is concerned. Eh? Yes. Okay, I would encourage persons if you're on the live, please give this live a thumbs up, share it, let other persons know that Katrina is on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask because Katrina is ready to answer. Don't be afraid to ask her anything. Yes. So, yes, Katrina, you have accomplished quite a bit so far in your young age. So, can you share some of your accomplishments to date with us?
Some of my accomplishments to date was becoming Miss Wheelchair New York 2018, um, then graduating college, and also um, becoming a life coach and helping people with disabilities and their families. Um, I think many of my accomplishments also include helping to advocate for people with disabilities and being a part of different councils that advocate for people with disabilities, like the um, education council, both for special education and now for post secondary education. And I also now serve on the Developmental Disabilities Planning Council that was appointed through the governor's office for um, people with disabilities and their families, where I help to make decisions on where funding goes for people with disabilities and their families. So I travel to Albany maybe like 4 to 5 times a year for that in particular, but I also get opportunities to travel there for other things as well because I'm one of the advocacy leads for an organization called the Regional Centers for Workforce Transformation, which we train direct support professionals. Many of you guys may not know what that is, but direct support professionals are providers that come to provide support to people with disabilities out in the community and in their home.
Okay. And Miss Wheelchair, Miss New York Wheelchair, how should I put it? How is it? How does it go?
It's Miss Wheelchair in New York.
Miss Wheelchair New York. You would have won that title. So can you share your experience in that pageant and what following that, what did it entail being Miss New York? What are some of the things you got to do as Miss Wheelchair New York?
So, Miss Wheelchair in New York is actually not a beauty pageant. It's a pageant that focuses on advocacy and empowerment for women with disabilities who uses wheelchairs. My platform focused on bringing self advocacy into schools and making it more inclusive. So I got the opportunity to um, talk to education leaders about my experience and how I think it should be different for other students with disabilities. I got to talk to um, them about bringing self advocacy into schools because I wasn't taught some advocacy skills when I was in school, and we weren't given like the opportunity to like speak up for ourselves because decisions were basically being made just by assuming. Um so they didn't really teach us some advocacy skills and how to speak up for ourselves. And I think that if you have the opportunity to learn some advocacy skills, it would make a difference along the way. So I really want some advocacy to be taught in schools. So I talk to educators about ways that they can bring some advocacy into their classroom or into their schools for students with and without disabilities because advocacy should be taught to everyone. And I also got the opportunity to um, visit schools and talk to students about disability awareness because disability awareness isn't talked about as much in general schools as it is in a school that may have students with disabilities. So um, that was one of the opportunities that I was given as well. And I also got the opportunity to travel throughout New York State, um, doing different presentations and um, different things like that. And I got the opportunity to be connected to the Girl Scouts groups for girls with disabilities that they have connected to the school district for the students with disabilities. So I got the opportunity to visit them. They have a different school district here for um, like students with disabilities, but it also goes up to like severe disabilities. So they may have behavior disabilities or severe physical disabilities. So many of the students aren't able to physically speak or anything like that, but um, once they saw me with like my crown and sash, many of them were either pointing to it or like they want to be like me when they grow up. So that was pretty cool. And then part of my reign, I also got the opportunity to go to Michigan to compete for Miss Wheelchair America. So there's where I got to meet um women in wheelchairs from almost all across the state. They didn't have all 50 states, but I believe they had 20 something states. I don't remember all of the states that were there, but that was the first time that I got to see um a lot of women in wheelchairs and just people in wheelchairs in one space. So that was pretty exciting as well. I spoke about different topics. I was a graduation keynote speaker for many schools um, as my reign. So it didn't go from just my platform of speaking about the importance of self advocacy in schools. It went beyond. It went into the community, and I got to do many different things with my reign, meet different people, and make different connections.
Okay, wow.
and
That's
and
good.
and then last year, with my reign and being a part of them, they invited me to be a judge for the Miss Wheelchair America competition last year in Michigan as well.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Sorry about that. Somebody was just calling the phone. I think it's Natalia. Yes. So Katrina, before I continue, Michael says, good night, Katrina. Peace and blessings to you. I have a twofold question. What's the most difficult or challenging activity you have done, and what did you learn from it?
I think
And the second
the most
part, what is the biggest physical mess you have encountered? So the first part again, what's the most difficult or challenging activity you have done, and what did you learn from it?
I think the most physical activity that was the most challenging was that I was given the opportunity uh, to go surfing. Um, yeah, and I don't really like the water like that, but I was brave enough to go surfing, and um I also was given the opportunity to fly a glider's plane with the help of a pilot. Um, and those were the two most difficult physical things that I was given the opportunity to do. But when I flew the glider's plane, um, I had a camera in front of me to capture like the surroundings around me, so that kind of helped block me out from being scared. And then my dad told me, "Now you fly a plane. Now you can really write the book." So I was really brave to do those two things because um to go surfing, they had like six volunteers um help me and like push me into the water so that I can be able to be given the opportunity to fly uh and be a part of the surfing experience. I have I had corrected spine surgery, so I have metal in my spine. So because I have metal in my spine, they made sure that I was secure and safe um in that matter, and so I'll be okay. I think those were the two um physical challenges experience I had. Can you repeat the second question again?
Okay, the second one is what is the biggest physical mess you have encountered?
The second one, um, it would be, um, I think, my major spine surgery that I had in 2009. My spine was curved to 90 degrees, and um, the doctors kept on asking me if I'm not in pain, and they don't know how I'm like sitting up in my wheelchair. I'm supposed to be laying in bed. But I was still managing and going to school and everything. But the process of getting prepared for surgery was the most scariest part because I had to be prepared to be on an oxygen tank for the rest of my life. And they were like measuring me for different equipment and different things like that. And during the process, I was just like staring at them doing everything because it was just like so scary. And it took 9 hours to have the operation done. And my doctor, when he came out to speak to my mom and dad, he was like that I'm very brave and he hopes that I never have to face that again. And everything turned out successful. I went into the operating room with a book of questions to ask him before surgery. So um, I think that was the biggest one. But I also had, when I was younger, I had hip replacement, so that they can be able to correct my posture. It wasn't really to give me the ability to walk. It was just to correct my sitting ability. And I spent 6 months in rehab. And I didn't return back to school for 6 months. They had like home instruction come into the rehab and provide me schooling, but it wasn't the same as regular school instruction. So I think those were the two major um, points in my life.
Okay, Katrina. So, any other questions? Don't forget to give the live a thumbs up. I am listening on my laptop because somebody calling and the volume on my phone has messed up. So
Uh,
yes, but okay, you noted in your book that I faced so many obstacles in college and still made a way. However, I often forgot to pause and celebrate my achievements and how I felt to be included as part of the college community. So now you finished college. What do you do with your time? How do you celebrate and stuff like that?
Now that I finished college and took the time to pause and celebrate, um, I am doing a lot of different things on my own path and not letting me be defined by how society says successful people should be. And I think that's the greatest thing ever. I spend a lot of time advocating for people with disabilities. Um, I probably mentioned before that like I'm an advocacy consultant for an organization, so I'm asked to do a lot of workshops and trainings for the field, share my story. Um, I'm asked to, um, on the other hand of that role, I also do motivational speaking. So, from time to time, it gets busy and I'm asked to speak to either doctors, speak to groups, to share my story with them. And it can be locally or it can be in different states. I'm asked to speak, to be like keynote speakers, and I'm asked to even like recently I was asked to speak to a group of doctors from all over the globe about cerebral palsy, which is the disability that I have, and how they can make changes. So my story again was a call to action for them and how they can make the medical system better for people with disabilities and those who have cerebral palsy. And of course, I mentioned the call to action to include a better medical system for those with disabilities in the Caribbean as well, because I know that they don't have the same services and supports that they have here for those with disabilities in the Caribbean. So those doctors came from Australia, all over the globe basically, and I made that call to action. So and that's one of the things that I do. And I also spend time making sure that my nonprofit is doing the things that the mission says that it's going to be doing. I spend a lot of time taking different courses that surround helping people with disabilities. So I'm also a certified autism specialist. Um, I My life coaching certificate came through a program called We Live Without Limits. The director herself also has cerebral palsy, and she created that program to give people with disabilities the opportunity to work from home. So that's where that all started. But then I also found different opportunities around coaching, and I also joined a coaching program to become a coach for people with ADHD. Um, that's like attention deficit disorder. Um, so I wanted to not only help people with my types of disabilities, but all types of disabilities and be able to be knowledgeable so that when I need to advocate on behalf of someone, I'm pretty knowledgeable. So I have a lot of certificates around that. And I'm also a career coach because I want to help people with disabilities with employment and those in high school navigate the way those basic life skills aren't taught in school. So I want to be the one to do it on the side. And most recently, I um, took upon the opportunity to apply to a school called Nassau Community College where they had a disability studies certificate program. So um, besides finishing college and pausing, I made it back again to pursue my certificate in disability studies um, in the fall, which starts in September. So um, I'm excited to see where that journey will be, but I'm still will be continuing my other journeys as well. To like create more programs and do different things either on behalf of my nonprofit or on behalf of my other mission, which is called Voice on Wheels. That's my personal brand that I rebranded after all. So I create different programs and different workshops eventually that I can be able to offer.
Just one moment. Let me grab my headphone. Huh? I'm coming back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Question. Melodious J is asking, did you have an assistant teacher in high school and college? Did you have an assistant teacher?
So I had an assistant teacher throughout my public school journey, and in high school, that helped me navigate school and helped support me academically. But um, in college, we don't have teacher's assistant, which is something that I want to highlight because that means that I was left to do the college journey on my own without support. I went to college with the support of my home health aides, which come into the home and provide me the care, but they weren't able to go into the classrooms and provide me support. So they were basically just my arms and legs in shadow. I didn't, they don't come into the classroom, they don't know anything about me academically. So that's something that's missing out of the college system. And in college, we have like note takers um, that comes and takes notes for uh, the students with disabilities that request those accommodations. They come into the classroom and take notes for us, um, and do things like that. And for like exams, they come and assist us in writing if we need it. We're able to use different softwares on the computer or different types of reading software where we have something read to us, not to say that we can't read for ourselves, but just to help us with speed and timing, that those accommodations are put in place. But keep in mind that in college we have to ask for it. If we don't ask for it as a student with disabilities, we don't get it.
Okay. There was another question, but I noticed the person removed it. But he was just asking, it's my brother, why did you leave Beckwith so soon?
True. um, well, we had to leave Medway so soon because my dad has to go back to work, and then we stay short times because of the lack of accommodations and medical care. We want to make sure that I'm nearby all of my supports and services as much as possible, although they do allow me to travel when I'm given the opportunity to.
Okay. Okay. Yes, so Virtual Girl, one of our regulars, is saying good night. Well, good night to you, Katrina.
Hi.
Good night, Virtual Girl. Welcome as usual. Hi, Karim. Welcome. And if you've just joined us, we have Katrina in the house. And Katrina is the author of the book Special Education to College, the Katrina story, breaking those glass ceilings. And you can get a copy of this book on Amazon, so you can check it out. It's not expensive, and I recommend this book to you guys. especially to those persons who are here, those special needs teachers. Try and get a copy of this book. Cutie, I'm not going to lend you my copy, so buy one. Yes, Katrina. So let me see. Do anybody else have any question before I continue? It's almost 1 hour. Don't forget to give the live a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the live, if you're enjoying what Katrina is saying, you can just leave if you want to leave a word of encouragement. If you don't have a question, you can leave a word of encouragement. Okay, Katrina. So in your book, we are beginning to wrap up this part. You said, no one can get between me and my dreams. And I promise to enjoy life and do what is best for me. So, where next?
So, um, I like that part of the book because oftentimes society and systems that's created for people with disabilities often creates barriers because I am one of many people with disabilities that despite my disability I'm capable and they don't really see that. They see my limitations. And because they see my limitations, when I come to them with um, something that I want to do, it's often a challenge between me and them because they don't normally approve those things or those things aren't a part of the categories. And oftentimes they don't approve the things that I want them to approve because they never approved it before or it's not a part of what they approve. And I always go against them and say, well, it's my dreams and goals. It's there's a way you have to provide it to me. And then oftentimes like agencies or people um try to like question my ability and say, well, because you need these types of accommodations that I shouldn't go for those types of dreams. And most recently I became more powerful to say that despite my disability and all the accommodations that I need to make it through life, that no barriers will be up against me. So I will go after all my dreams no matter what it takes.
Well said, Katrina. And I know, knowing your mom, it seems that you would have something inside you. You would have gotten that from your mom. And I know your mom is a person that would push for everything. And Katrina, I noticed that you have that trait from your mom. I know your dad is supposed to be reckoned with as well. So I believe you have both of them deep within you. So
Thank
one comment here. Okay. Katrina Bottle Girl says to let you know how proud I am of, well, how proud she is of you with your resilience throughout your journey.
thank you.
Thank you, Bottle Girl. Yes, so Michael, you were asking a question. Okay, in the meantime, we are here for almost 1 hour. We would have established by now that Katrina is a motivational speaker. As you heard, she would have spoken to a lot of people from all different walks of life. So, Katrina, if you were to give us some advice tonight about, you have a disability, we don't, but there are some of us that society term as, able people, I should say. And some of the things that you are doing as somebody with a disability, some of us can only dream about it, right? Because some of us, we doubt our own ability because we may think that we would try something and we may fail, or we are afraid to try it because we think that we will fail and the society would look at us, in a certain way. So, what advice would you give to not only people with disability, but persons with us who are thinking, are afraid to try something new?
I would, my advice would be to take a risk at anything that you want, because it's either you open the doors for yourself or no one will open the doors for you if you don't give it a try.
Okay. But your girl, okay, are you hearing me better now? Because the sound on my phone was interrupted. So I'm basically listening to this conversation via my laptop. So there's a bit of a delay. But let me know if you're hearing me better. Let me try to get closer to my phone. Okay, so let me know if you're hearing me better now. Okay, thanks. So Michelle Stowe, and Michelle Stowe is the principal for the school for children with special needs, as you would know, Katrina. She's saying this is how far you can reach with a strong support system. Keep breaking those glass ceilings.
So can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay, no, okay, let me wait for you to put back in your headphone. Okay, Michelle was making a comment. She's saying that this is how far you can reach with a strong support system. Keep breaking those glass ceilings. So that's
Yes.
Michelle Stowe, the
I
principal of
think
this for children with special needs.
I think with a strong support system, you can definitely navigate a lot of different things that you may think is impossible. Um, Along the way, in the very early parts of my journey, it was only my mom and dad um, navigating the journey and being like my only support system, along with like um, my godmother who she knew a lot about different parts of the system, so she was really helpful in that way. And then eventually, as I got older, I created my own support system because I realized that I didn't want it to just be me and my mom and dad. Like, I wanted to show them that other people that's a part of my circle were really interested in being a part of my life and just watching me be a shining light for my goals and dreams and the world.
Okay. So we have another question for you. Katrina, you have visited SVG with your parents on several occasions. What would you say is your biggest challenge coming to our country with the lack of public wheelchair vehicles?
Um, my biggest challenge would be accessibility. Um, uh, from like the the ferry to the vehicles and then to the roads. I think those were the biggest challenge. And then oftentimes, because people don't see people with disabilities out, they're often staring or asking random questions, which is fine. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges, the accessibility, because um, here in America, in New York, we have access to like accessible vehicles and different things like that. Everything is almost fully wheelchair accessible. So we have places to go that's wheelchair accessible. We have ramps to access buildings, schools. So I think they need like ramps back home. While there recently I got the opportunity to speak at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and one of the things that the pastor said was, "Yeah, I think we need ramps to be able to fully access the church instead of you being lifted up into the church." So I think ramps, instead of like step downs, a lot of the things back home have steps, so I often have to be carried down the stairs, and because people know my mom and dad, they're always there to help, give a helping hand. But um, I think that they need a lot of ramps to be able to access buildings. I noticed that only one place in Beckley has a ramp, and that's the bank. So that brings a huge question on why is that the only place that has a ramp. But um, yeah. I think they need like accessible vehicles to get around, because while there we have to hire mostly the tourist vehicles so that I'm lift into the vehicle um without any trouble, but it's still very bumpy and shaky as well. And I think the
Yes,
hills are,
that's true.
you can't get rid of
I
the
know,
hills, but I think
how do I put it? Yes, in Beckway. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I was going to say, yes, in Beckway, we are not fully, well, we are not ready for persons, I should say, with disability, because as you say, most of the churches are without ramps. Well, we have let me see, one of the schools that I know, yeah, has ramp. Well, apart from the school for children with special needs, it would be good if somebody we can have vehicles that carry how do I put it? The thing that lifts you up the ramp, the ramp, yes.
the lifts,
But
yeah,
you know that being in these small islands where you know people with disabilities are basically not looked, they're basically looked. We don't have them up there. So it seems that the provisions are not being made for persons with disabilities, especially wheelchair users here, because as you were saying, persons would lift people and put them on the vehicles, and that is something that has been happening for ages here on Beckway.
yeah.
On mainland St. Vincent, I'm not sure if there is any vehicles that has ramp. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Mhm.
either,
They-
but I hope to eventually
Um,
know.
we will move forward in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, so what your girl was saying, not only churches, but schools as well, like they forget about persons with disability. Hey Chantal, good night to you. Yes, we need to build more ramps because Katrina visited the museum in Cincinnati and they didn't have any ramps. And I noticed it was a bumpy ride for you getting into, especially over at the boat section. But I think it's something that we need to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any other questions or any other comments? Because we are starting to wrap things up. It's an hour. Okay, but let me remind you. Oh, Katrina has a website. Okay, I'll share the link here so you can check her website out. So let me find it. Okay, it's Voice on Wheels, but let me copy it into the chat. This is fighting me. The Chrome is not responding with me. Just bear with me one moment. Okay. Katrina St. Cloud Leach is saying, good night, Katrina. It's a pleasure to listen to you and your journey. Okay. What would you like to accomplish for yourself and those with your condition that is vital? What would you like to accomplish for yourself and those with your condition that is vital?
I would like to accomplish um for here in New York and eventually all over the world. I would like to create um for my nonprofit to create a center so that people with disabilities and those in underserved communities will be given the opportunity to join and learn different things. I would like to see for the Caribbean, I would like to see a disability awareness campaign. Um, and I would like to see a better medical system for them. I want to see doctors and therapists and the list of medical teams that I probably have and others with disabilities have here travel to the Caribbean to support those with disabilities and their family as well because we have an advanced medical system here in New York, although we have a long way to go, but That's one of my dreams and goals for myself and other people with disabilities as well.
Yeah, well said. Okay. So, Katrina, I've been championing your cause from ever since. I follow you on Facebook, and you guys can follow Katrina on Facebook as well. She's also on Instagram. And I'm going to ask you a question that may be a bit personal, but do you mind sharing your age with us? Because looking at you, you look like a teenager.
Sure. I get that often, so I often say that many people think that I'm little just because I'm sitting in my wheelchair. But I'm actually 28 years old.
Oh, wow. Congrats to you, girl. So
Thank
28
you.
years and a lot of accomplishments. Some of those things I'm just dreaming about them. Okay, so apart from all of that, Katrina, she's a small, well, we call her, the first time we met her, she would have spoken to the children at the Police Youth Club, and we dubbed her as the girl in the wheelchair. The girl in the wheelchair, who is actually a young lady. She is a little girl. Well, back in our time, she was a little girl to us, but with a big heart. So Katrina would have taken her time and she would have donated to the Padre Farm Police Youth Club and the school for children with special needs. So she's not only thinking about herself, but she's thinking about others and she's showing it. So Katrina, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for accepting the invite. I truly have been inspired, and judging from the comments and the questions, I know persons are awed when they listen to your story here tonight.
Thank you for
So
having me.
yes, so Virtual Girl is saying you're looking like a teenager for real.
Thank
Yes,
you.
so any final words before we wrap things up? Any final word before we leave?
So I will share with everyone that don't put limits on disability. When you see a person with a disability, don't just assume and think they have a problem or that they're crazy, and try to support them and their family as much as possible, because you never know how you can help them. And try to promote disability awareness as much as possible and help us get rid of the major stigma in the Caribbean when it comes to people with disabilities.
Okay, thank you. I am seeing Uncle Annette walking in the background, so good night to you, Uncle Annette. And Katrina, as I was saying once before, it's a pleasure having you here tonight. And feel free anytime you wanna come in on our live, just let me know, and I am gonna link you up.
No
It would have
problem.
been nice for us to see the faces of your support system. I'm just seeing them whipsing across. I'm not sure if you wanna come and say hi.
You guys
Before
want to
we
come and
go.
say hi? Hi, Sony. She can't see. You guys gotta come in. Wait, turn this way. Hi.
Hi, Auntie Beverly, but I'm not seeing your face.
Hi.
Hi, so that's the champion. That's one of the champion behind Katrina. See that smile there? Woman to the bone right there. Yes, so you guys have been doing a wonderful job. I must commend you all. on
Thank
the
you.
job that you would have done, and you would have nurtured a very, very powerful young lady. And I know you are comfortable, and I know you can sit back and relax because Katrina can take care of herself right about now.
She does it all. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry that we missed you.
Okay, so thank you guys for joining us tonight. And
Thank you.
remember, we're gonna be yes, because I was well, I saw Uncle Arnett, but I was beat after camp, so I didn't really do much up and down.
Okay.
Okay, see, my father is saying he's looking at our program and all along, and Katrina, he's thinking that you're looking tired.
She's never tired.
I'm never tired. My shirt says that I dream while I sleep.
Whoa.
It says,
Okay.
can you, uh, I'm a writer. I dream while awake.
Whoa. I'm getting a delay because I'm listening to my laptop instead of the phone. Yeah, but yes, thank you guys again for joining us here tonight. Please, before you leave, give us a thumbs up and remember, come Friday night at 8 p.m. We're gonna be back with the regular live, and we have that giveaway coming up. So the stage is already set for that. So join us, invite somebody else to join us, and invite somebody else to subscribe to our channel because remember, here you never know what you're going to be seeing. So take care of yourselves and do enjoy the rest of the night.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Take care. Bye.